Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to turn a oil drum, a 55-gallon drum, into a buck stove. The easy way. Very cost effective. Probably the cheapest way to have a buck stove. Right here is a buck stove kit they make. These are $40. Has legs, 2 sets of legs, or 2 legs, a damper, and the door itself. Now, this one's a little bit cheaper, you know, it feels a little cheap to me. But it does latch and everything. It also has the air control. And so, and the screws. And the bolts, I mean. And so, basically all you do is you sit this on there, cut out the wood-cut barrel. And I'm going to show you how to do all of that. So, first what we're going to do is we're going to set this door on there and trace it. I don't know if you can see that I traced it. And also where the vents go I traced. And so now we're going to do a pilot hole with a drill. I have my pilot hole started. I wallowed it out with the drill a little bit. And I got a new blade on my reciprocating sawzall. Be careful of any metal spurs. Wear goggles and gloves if possible. Which, yeah. So I'm going to start here and try to work it around. Alright, we got the basic hole cut, and now we're going to take pliers and bend off any of these and fold them under, and then we're going to set the door on it and mark where our holes should be drilled. As you can see, the air holes are covered, are cut out, and open the door and you can see there's no metal burrs. A little bit up there I'll have to trim off for a rasp. So now I'm ready to mark my holes. It's a good fit. Everything's good. Make sure it's square. Just going to take a marker and I'm going to go into each hole like this. Just kind of twist it around. That's how you mark your holes. Alright, I'm going to start by drilling one in this corner, one in that corner, and then I'll put the bolt through. And the bolts they give you, let me show you those. They're a screwdriver on one side, a hex head screw, and then a bolt on the other side, so you can hold it with a screw and then use a ratchet on the back. So I'm just going to drill there, there. Alright, the door has been installed. It's just that easy. Bolts. This is a cast iron. And so next we're going to put the feet on. And simply what we're going to do is we're just going to sit it down with the feet just holding it, not bolted in place yet. And then we're going to adjust it and make it level. And when it looks level, we'll mark it and drill those holes. Alright, I marked my holes by putting the legs down on the ground and putting the drum on it. And seeing what looked level. And so now I'm ready to drill those out. And so carefully drill. I have it spaced from the edge of the drum on the back side and the front side 3.5 inches. And so now I'm going to drill that out. Alright, both the legs are on. Just drilled out those marks I made, and then I had to reach my hand down in the drum with a ratchet and tighten them up, which is kind of hard. It would help to have a long handled ratchet or a buddy to hold the screwdriver to the screws to keep them from coming out while you're doing that. But it's good, they're sturdy. So now we're going to worry about the damper. This goes to the flume pipe, and it's cast iron. And we're going to trace that out and drill it out. The way I laid my buck stove out was seam side up. 55-gallon drums have a seam, and the reason why is you don't want all the heat of the coal sitting on that seam and loosening it. And also we'll be putting a grate in there to protect the bottom of the buck stove, so we'll get maybe 10 to 15 more years out of it than you would if you just set coals on the bottom. Alright, now we're just going to sit that cast iron flume piece back here, and it is designed to kind of sit back here a little bit. We're going to measure up exactly where we want it, and then we're going to mark the holes and drill them. Alright, all of our holes have been marked, and I also drew a circle in the center, and that's actually a little bit in the inside so it doesn't have any burrs. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to drill a hole right along the edge, and then I'm going to take a screwdriver and widen it enough so I can get my saws all in there. Alright. Alright, the top damper and flange going out to the stovepipe is installed. Only thing I need to do is tighten these screws up, and I'm just going to have to reach my hand down there and do the best I can. They're as tight as I can get with a screwdriver, and they're pretty good, but this is one thing you want to make sure it's tight so it doesn't leak any smoke. You could use a fiberglass impregnated rope around there, they make that, but I think if I just tighten it up it'll be good. Should look something like this. Just sand off all the paint as much as you can, and of course where the paint that's still on there that didn't burn off, and it's probably not gonna get that hot again. I don't know, I burned it really hot. Used a lot of wood that burns hot, like pine and shit, just to get it hot enough to burn the paint off. So it's sanded, and I sanded it well, and so now we're going to use high heat paint, Rust-Oleum. It could go directly over rust, which is perfect because this has been out in the rain a little bit and got a little rust on it since I sanded it. So I took a rag and wiped off any loose paint and dust after I sanded it. So I'm ready to spray paint her. Rust-Oleum, high heat. It's kind of a flat color like that. It's a good color. So this is what it looks like after it's finished. And we'll do a burn in it. You want to burn it one more time before you put it in the house, just to get any fumes off of the paint, and it's good. Here's the finished product. I built this little flap right here. It's kind of a extra air vent, because this one's good, but it doesn't let as much air in as you really need. The latch, I think I lost the little bolt that goes in there as a handle, but I'll find it. So touched it up today with some little bit of paint. Looks good, heats well. I burned all the oils out of it, and painted it and burned it, and it's a good buck stove. I don't know if I'm going to sell it or use it. Kind of want to see how easy they would be to make. I think the altogether cost, the kit was $40, the barrel was $25, so we got $65. Paint was probably $5 a can, so about $70, but you probably could do it for about $60. Yeah, it probably lasts pretty long too if you didn't paint it. You don't really have to, probably. And I got a grate in there, old refrigerator grate, which you can't see because there's ash in there that kind of holds the wood up and keeps coals off the metal. There's the finished product. Barrel buck stove. And that little vent I made, it's just bolted on there, and that wasn't hard. I think it's pretty good. Tell me what you guys think.